with all due respect.
Hey, we're Josh Ortegon and Gray Achilles, and this is With All Due Respect, the show where we keep it real about health, fitness, and performance. From weight loss to sports development, we're covering the conversations that matter.
Follow us on Instagram at WaterXPod, WADR, and visit phenombrand.com, PHNM, for performance gear and training programs built for real results. Let's get into it.
All right, guys, Josh Ortegon and Gray, and we are on With All Due Respect, and I think we have a story that you're going to want to hear because, first off, I've met Edwin, God, like a year and a half ago at Brunson's place when we were training, working with people. And we've started following each other on social media and just chatting. So I want to get right into it, dude. Introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you did, and then let's chat. And then we're going to talk about the big event I obviously want to know about. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
First off, I just want to thank y'all for having me on. It's truly a blessing always to hop on podcasts. But yeah, my name is Edwin Martin. I'm 24 years old from Columbia, South Carolina. And now I just happen to do ultra marathons for fun. That's my version of fun these days, and show people what's possible. And I really believe in just finding that limit, and just continue to do these hard things to inspire people along the way. And recently just ran, well, last week was 100 miles around track, but my big event was 24 hours on the treadmill, which was an experience like no other. And I'm sure we'll get deep into it, but yeah, just it's crazy trying to just sit down and actually just go through these challenges, because in the beauty about ultra running, but also kind of a downside of it is you don't remember a lot of the stuff in those moments, just because you're in the midst of the pain cave and trying to just stay focused on the mile ahead of you. But when someone's like, yeah, break it down mile by mile, I'm like, there's no shot. I can give you hour by hour, but mile by mile is absolutely impossible.
How did you get into? I feel like all ultra runners, they have some kind of crazy story as to how they got into it, because I think there has to be a little bit of craze in the brain to
Yeah.
want to go ahead and do that, especially if you're on a treadmill for 24 hours.
Yeah.
But how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I was in college. So first off, high school, lost a lot of weight. I was like, I gotta get myself in shape. I do all these things, lost all the weight that like everyone does. Got lean, did all the things, and I'm like, I'm built for more for this. I'm made for more. Went to college at the Citadel, and was like, yeah, we're forced to run, so I hate it, but at the same time, I'm like, I still somehow kind of like this thing. So my junior year of college, I ran my first marathon with little to no training, ran a 3:15. I was like, okay, I think I can do a little bit in this sport. I think I got a little bit of potential. So did that my junior year of college and just continued to progress and progress and progress. And then my big thing, my senior year, was the full distance Ironman. And I was like, done the marathon, let's go for the full thing. No halves, no sprints, no nothing. Taught myself how to swim, didn't do swim team growing up. And I was like, let's go for it. Why not? And so I did that. And literally 2 weeks before that race, I partially tore my Achilles in a biking accident. I was coming to a stop, and my foot popped out of my foot pedal, or my foot hopped out of the cleat pedals, went right into the ground, cracked,
Oh,
partially tore the Achilles. So I'm like, I'm 2 weeks off from this Ironman. I have no experience with triathlons at all. I'm a college kid. I just paid $1,000 for a race. I'm gonna do it. So ended up doing the triathlon on one leg. Learned a ton about that. Just really gained a really good relationship with pain. If I'm being honest with you, just being able to endure. I was like, if I can run 26 miles on one leg and still be able to run a 4:30 marathon on that, I think I have a really good potential in the sport. So just built a lot of momentum and confidence from that Ironman, even just being really hurt going into it, and knowing I was hurt going into it was just just a mindset shift for me. I was like, okay, I have no time expectations because I'm literally hurt going into this, but let's see what we got. So after that, did the Ironman. And then, of course, I had to pay the repercussions for not addressing the injury. So I was stubborn, didn't want to go to my PT because I just didn't want to do that. And I thought I was strong enough to do that without it. So kind of had a 5-month hiatus of no really high volume running or anything until I went to my PT and worked with her and finally got it right. And then I was like, you know what? I saw um, one of my buddies, he ran like a 50 miler in Colorado. I was like, 50 miles? That's not possible. No way. And he was like, yeah, man, we did it. And we did it in like 13 hours. And I was like, dang, that seems like a lot of time on your feet. So I literally saw a race in Greenville. It was a last man standing race. And that's 4.1 miles every hour on the hour. And I'm like, that sounds intriguing. I want to do that. Ended up signing up for that, hired a coach, and was like, okay, I'm going on with this. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go win this thing. So went out there to Greenville, did that race. Only like 30 people showed up, and ended up being the last man standing there at like 56 miles. But I was like, I trained to run 100 miles here, so I'm going to continue to do this. And then signed up for a race in April, which was my first ever 100-mile race. And then ended up doing that off like a 3 more weeks of like quality training and then tapering down for that. And the first 100-mile experience was the first 100-mile experience. Like it was brutal. It was in Florida. It was 85 degrees. It was beaming hot. It was absolutely awful. I had no idea what I was doing nutrition wise, just because I everything after 50, I had no idea how my stomach was going to respond. So it was just a learning experience, but ended up finishing in like 26 hours or something like that, a lot of time. But still had that in the back of my head of like, I know I can do faster than this. I know I can do faster than this. So continue just to progress and progress and progress. And then I was like, you know what? That next August, I ended up doing a challenge where I ran a half marathon a day every day for the entire month of August with one of my mentors. He asked me to do it, and I was like, let's do it. So ended up just building just a crazy, and I don't recommend this to do this to anyone, but just crazy amount of volume that is built up. So I just had a lot of time on my feet. So you know what? I'm gonna go right into a marathon block. Did that, wanted to get the Boston qualification time, had like a 12-week prep, did 250 at Myrtle Beach, and I was like, you know what, that's fine, let's do that. But I love ultra running, I want to do that. So did that, and then me and my business partner hosted a race in May of 2024 around the track, the 100 miles that we just did for the second year in a row. Ended up doing that and ran it in 21 hours. So I was like, you know what, I have a potential here. So did that, and then one thing just kept leading to another and another and another, and then here we are just running 24 hours on the treadmill. So
What's crazy is how much you just said and you're 24.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
Like I thought you were my age at least. Like I'm 30. I was like, oh yeah, he's probably my age. Like
yeah,
that's
His body's
insane what
30.
you've
His body
yeah.
after that,
oh
you're
I'm
like,
sure
I'm
he's
like,
probably 40.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, where did you go to high school?
I went to AC4.
Okay.
Hmm.
We had a girl on um, Reagan Hooks. Her brother went
Oh,
to
love her.
her brother went
She's
to the Citadel.
awesome.
Ryan went to the
Hmm.
Citadel. I've
Yeah,
known
yeah.
that fam. Yeah, I've known
She
that
just
family
did a
since.
Ironman this past
Yeah,
weekend.
yep.
Hmm.
So we had her on the show, and I've known her since she was 11. And I tell people all the time, so she was 5'11" at 11. She was still
Yeah.
like, she was like almost 6 foot tall when she was 11 years old. And I've known that whole family forever. And she kind of has that mindset of like, you know, did CrossFit competitions, eh, did a bodybuilding show, meh.
Yeah.
Guess I'll do an ultra marathon, or guess I'll do an Ironman. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like just like meh, just right into the next thing.
Yeah.
And she just kind of has that mindset of like, all right, did that. What's the bigger challenge?
Hmm.
All right, did that. What's a bigger challenge? She's 23,
Yeah.
24,
Hmm.
right? And I've known her since she was little. And she's always had that kind of dog in her, even
Hmm.
at like 11 years old. She's always had like just a little bit of grit to her. And you got to have that little bit of grit to you to do something like that. And I think the hardest thing about that is like, I run into this. I've run into this 1,000 times in my life, doing different kinds of things that I get interested in, get hyper focused on. Like, you probably had people be like, I mean, you got to drown out the negativity, bro. I bet the
Hmm.
negative is like, Edwin, what do you run 24 hours in a row? You can't do
Yeah.
that. Like, dude, isn't it amazing the number of people that surround you that are, and I was thinking about this today. The number of people, like, if you came to me, and this is just the kind of person I am, Edwin, and you said, Josh, I'm like, yeah. I go, I think I'm going to run 24 hours straight. I was like, do it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Why
Don't even
not?
think about it. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't even like put it in your brain. Just go do it.
Hmm.
Right? I'm that type, and like I got friends of mine that I think I want to do something. I got a friend of mine right now that kind of wants to start this business and hit me up, ask me questions, seeing if I can get involved. And I sent him this message. I was like, dude, here's the deal. You're gonna a lot of people tell you it's dumb. I need you just to start tomorrow, or you call me when you're ready, because I'm just go do it.
Yeah.
Right? Did you face any? Edwin, what are you doing, man? What are you gonna run? What are you gonna run for 24 hours for? What are you gonna do? What do you do? What's the purpose of running? 100 miles. You know what I'm saying? Do you run into that?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like whenever it's just like I'm such a advocate of like being who you say you are. And for me, I'm just like, if I say it out loud into the world, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't care what it takes. And there's always gonna be the people who are gonna doubt you and like, dude, this is so stupid. Why are you doing this? Like you're an idiot. You're gonna get hurt. And I'm just like, it for me personally just goes in one ear out the other. I'm just like, well, you said I couldn't. I'm gonna do it. I know I am. So here we are. So but honestly, like for me, when people say stuff to me like that, I'm just like, I don't like in the most like humble way. I'm like, first off, watch me. Two, like you were made for more than what you are in your situation. Like whatever that is. Like I'm not saying you have to run for 24 hours. I'm just saying like just me doing this thing, I hope it inspires you to do something hard that's in your lane. That seems hard to you and scary to you. Because I could just be like, well, yeah, you're an idiot. Well, I'm going to do it anyways. But, just my heart posture behind that is just like, well, I hope you can be inspired by what I do. I don't appreciate you doubting me, but like, if honestly it adds fuel a little bit to my fire, like selfishly for sure. But, I hope in the return of that, it gives them some sort of inspiration in their life. Like, whatever it may be, whatever they're going through. It's like if this dude's gonna run for 24 hours, I hope in return I can give them a little bit of inspiration to keep going for that hard thing. It's like, yeah, this seems literally impossible on paper to do, absolutely. But for them to just say, yeah, you're not gonna do it. Why do you do this? You're always doing something crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. That's just what I do and what I love to do. So
What
it's
led up
it's
to the
really
idea of the
every
100
single
mile?
day. It's insane.
What led up to the 100 or the 24-hour treadmill?
It was
Do you
like,
remember where you at when you're like, I'm gonna run for 24 hours straight?
yeah, so I was literally on the treadmill that I did it on. I was running, yeah, which is as crazy as you would think it is. I was
Yeah.
literally at my gym and was recovering from running across the state in December. Just slowly getting back into a build. I was talking to my coach. I didn't have any races lined up yet for 2026, and I'm like, I have like a 3 month period where I don't have a race. So just like I want to do something hard on this thing that I'm on. I already hate the treadmill as it is. So like I want to do something crazy for this. And 24 hours just clicked. I was originally trying to do 36 and I talked myself down. I'm like, 24 just sounds better because you got more people there at the start and the finish and it was like it'll just be better.
Because
Um
36 is just too crazy.
yeah,
Right,
right.
right.
But the idea just
There's
literally,
limits.
yeah, literally. And it just came from me literally random. But like my initial heart behind it was like, I want to give back to a local nonprofit that needed help financially in the season. And I was like, if it lays in my lap for someone that needs help in this season, like the local nonprofit, and it lands in within like a week, I'm gonna make it happen. And literally, the way that it got just structured and structured and structured into an event within like 3 or 4 days was absolutely unreal. I had the nonprofit, I had the place to do it, I had the gym owner's approval, and everyone else was like, "All right, you just posted it, you're gonna do it." So within literally 3 days, I had everything ready to rock and roll.
And
I
then
mean,
when did you start it? How long after that? So you had the 3 days, and then when was the race? Or when was
Yeah,
the 24-hour tread?
it was like a month and a half of like
Okay.
prep for it,
Yeah.
which
how
was
do you prep for a 24 hour? Like,
You just run on a treadmill.
yeah.
I know, dude, you think that, right? You think, like, how do you prepare for a
Mhm.
24? First, let me ask you, do you know anybody else that's done this?
I don't know.
Okay. So if you're listening to this podcast and you've done this,
Let us know.
Edwin's going to do a 25-hour run next time
Yeah.
because screw you. You're
Yeah.
not going to do a 24-hour. I'm going to find someone that did a 25 4-hour run, and you're going to be like, can't do that, dude. I got to do 25 hours next time, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
But I, your social pops up sometimes, like the scroll, and I see stuff, and um, content's really good, really engaging,
Mhm.
and it looks like you put time into what you put out there is intentional,
hmm
and I kind of saw some talks about it, and then like I saw some clips of it, and I'm like, and then like there's some clips in real time too. Didn't somebody post some stuff
Yeah, yeah.
in real time? It popped up, and And then I kind of got up one day, like later on in the day, I'm like, dude, is that SOB still running? Like so I like got out of like oh my god, that dude's still like he ain't kidding. So I caught myself engaged in that day of like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that dude's still like that doesn't even seem like your feet can handle it.
Yeah.
Like that's the same pairs of shoes
Hmm.
for
Also,
24
just
hours.
like
Like
something
what
that
do his
got
I started thinking like what do his socks look like right now? Like you know what I'm saying? I
blisters.
started having these crazy things of like how do you stay high like how do you not rhabdo yourself?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I start thinking like these things of like, dude, he catch a toe cramp right now. It's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just
I I think my
go ahead.
biggest thing too with like being on a treadmill is you're looking at the same thing for 24 hours. So at
Yeah.
least like when you're on a marathon,
Mhm.
I'm at least getting different, like I can focus on a tree for a second, or I can focus on
Yeah.
somebody else for a second. Like on a treadmill, it's like this is all I have. This
Yeah.
is what I'm working with. So I think like that kind of mental toughness too, because I don't want to spend 15 minutes on a treadmill, much less
Yeah.
an hour,
Yeah.
24 hours. Like I'm bored by the time I'm done with 15. Like, were you watching anything? Did you have a TV going? It's like, I know a lot of people are around you, but like music or anything?
I maybe listen to music for like an hour, 2 hours, but I was live streaming the entire thing. So
Yeah.
people were like engaging with me the entire time,
Okay,
which was
good.
super cool. I
Where are
was
you
able to,
live
Yeah.
streaming at? What are you live streaming at? So I can go find it. Where do you live stream?
I did it on TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. So
Okay.
three
Yeah.
different
Yeah. Yeah.
platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had like
Yeah.
three different camera angles, which was super cool. But just like
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
like it was so cool how like so many random people just started going on here. It's like this dude's still on this treadmill. Like this is
Yeah, dude, that's me. That was me,
yeah.
dude. But I was like on Instagram going like, this dude. Like at first I was like, all right, he's gonna run 24 hours. Like, what do we got going on here? Then I'm like, wow, this dude ain't kidding, bro. I like the dude. I laughed a couple days ago. You put something out there. You're like, I think it was the 100-mile run, and you're like, how much longer do you got to run, man? I hate running. Like you said that, and I'm like, dude, if you hate running, like, what do you do? This dude can't hate running.
Yeah.
Like I remember at that point, I think you're just so like, I hate this.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like, was there ever a point in the 24-hour run that you were like, what did I sign up for, dude?
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know this, and I'm like really being selective of who I'm like hopping on the podcast with, just people that I like and stuff. But
Mhm.
literally within that first hour of the treadmill, my stomach flipped. So literally, I'm 23 hours with a flipped stomach, and when your stomach flips in an ultra marathon, you're done for. You know, like on paper, you're done for. So I made the bonehead decision of using this gel that my stomach wasn't used to.
Mhm.
I'd
Mhm.
used a little bit in a prep, and like so in my prep, I did an ultra marathon 3 weeks in a row on the treadmill. So I did a 30 miler, 40 miler, and then a 50 miler back to back to back weeks just for my prep, and peaked at 50 miles on the treadmill, and I only used these gels one time on one of those runs for the long run. So I ended up using a gel that my stomach wasn't used to. So within the first hour, I think I was aiming for 120 grams of carbs an hour, and I literally took 80 grams of carbs worth of gels within that first hour, and I'm like, oh brother, here we go. You know, we're in for a long 23 hours because I know just from experience, I know what it feels like when your stomach to flip. It feels like you literally have nails in your stomach, like
Mhm.
and it doesn't go away. So literally within that first hour, my stomach was literally churning like a clock, like just churning. And I'm like, so when that happens, I'm gonna have to stop and get off and go to the bathroom, get back, and go on. And ended up taking Imodium like 4 hours in or something like that, and it ended up like kind of helping, but it can completely just wipe my nutrition strategy out because I wasn't going to eat solid foods until like 12 hours into the treadmill, like at like where the nightfall, because I started at 6 p.m. So I wasn't going to do it until like that morning at some point. And I was going to my stomach was good. I was going to do liquids and gels, and hit 120 grams of carbs an hour for those first 12 hours, and see how we feel after that. Either go up or stay there. But completely went out the window. The first 2 hours of the treadmill. I'm like, oh brother,
Mm.
here we go. So I made the bonehead decision to do that, and paid the repercussions, which made already a crazy, unreal challenge hard, even harder. Just with my
Mhm.
stomach flipping that quick, which was just nuts to think back on.
With your liquid strategy, is that like to prevent being overly full? Like you basically want a low volume amount of food with a high volume amount of carbs so you don't feel
Mhm.
full while you run?
Yeah, just like because you're already bloated as it is, and you don't
Yeah.
want to have just like solid food like bread or whatever it is that you like just sit in your stomach. It's already heavy, and like especially being on a treadmill, your body's gonna be inflamed because you're just competitively repeating the same muscle tissue over and over and over, which is your legs
Right.
gonna poof up like that. So I was just kind of trying to control that, like already get ahead of that, and it went out the window very quickly.
It does. I mean, it takes so much strategy. Like
Yeah,
120 grams of carbs per hour is bananas. Like
yeah,
we have
Yeah, yeah, right.
plenty of
Yeah,
clients that are like, "Oh, well, I got to 92 grams for the whole day." And I'm like,
yeah,
"What do you mean? Are you breathing?
yeah,
Is your brain
yeah.
okay?"
yeah.
We had a girl on our podcast that is a nutrition coach. She's in Minnesota, and
Mm,
she's a nutrition coach for marathon runners.
Hmm.
mm,
That's all she does. Like it's strictly just marathon running. And she's 125 pounds, and her 3 day carb load is 425 grams of carbohydrates 3 days in a row leading up to the run.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh my god! And she's like, that's
Yeah.
the biggest. She's like, people will gain 4 or 5 pounds in that time
Hmm.
of like glycogen
yeah.
and water getting ready to do it. And I'm like, 425 carbohydrates a day for 3 to 4 days in a row, and a 125-pound girl. I'm
It's
like, what
insane.
is that? She's like, Rice Krispie treats and Gatorade and things like that. And I'm like, dude, how do you like? That's when she did that. She was telling me what her numbers were, and I was doing the math on it real quick on the phone, and I went, 425 grams of carbohydrates for 3 days, 4 days in a row, and a 125-pound girl. I go, and I'm like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I guess too, is there a part of your strategy where there really is no strategy? You're just like, I can plan all I want. I can do the training for the running leading up to it. You can do the nutrition. You
Hmm.
can do this. You can do that. It's kind of like I've trained kids multiple times to get ready to go to like boot camp, and they're like, "Well, what can I do to prepare for it?" I was like, "Hey, man, I can do the best, but nothing's like, there's no real preparing for
Yeah.
you for this. Like, the mental side of this is something I can't really mimic.
Hmm.
Um, some of this is just like, hey, I'm going to prepare myself mentally and physically the best I can, but some of this stuff is never going to get me ready for like no man's land, which I figure like no man's land is like that like I'm sure there's a middle gap in your 24-hour run, like maybe like hour 8 to like 13, where you were like, I'm just in the middle of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just out in space doing this. Like the social buzz has kind of been different. Like people
Yep.
come in and out. People have left because they watched for like an hour, then they left. They're at home watching Jeopardy, bro. Like
Yeah.
they're gone. They're not even thinking about, you know what I'm saying? They're not even thinking about you. The
Yeah.
boys that are gonna come see you later on that day, maybe like something got caught up. They're not come. Like there's this time where this is an afterthought and the buzz wears off and it's just you, bro. And it's all alone, dude. Like all alone. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, the buzz is worn off. Maybe people pop back in when there's like 2 hours left to go because that's like, like the last little bit of a marathon. Everybody's cheering, but nobody was there at like mile 17 when you're just like, I think I got a blister in my toe and I think my toe's falling off and I'm bleeding. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
no preparation for that no man's land where you're like, I'm drowning
Mm-hmm.
and I'm all alone.
Yeah.
Like, there's no preparing for that, is the best thing I can say. There's nothing. Nothing can prepare you for that.
Walk
Yeah.
us walk us through what your mental looks like, maybe like
Yes.
every 4 to 6 hour
Yeah,
chunk.
however you can, whatever you can remember, whatever you
Yeah.
didn't like, whatever trauma didn't like black out of you.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. So like within that, like I love how you were talking about just like you're in no man's land. That's like why I like the ultra marathon. Like you can do all the nutrition. You can be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this per hour. I'm gonna do this per pace. Like it's I always tell people, I'm like, what's your biggest advice for ultra marathon? It's like crap is gonna hit the fan. It's all about how you respond to it.
Mm.
Like it's whether it's really small or really big, you're the only person who knows you the best in terms of nutrition, your physical ability, like you know you the best. So within this treadmill challenge, like y'all think I was alone for at all. I literally had two people running beside me at all times, which was
Okay.
super cool.
That's
But
awesome.
still at the same time, it's like that was just there for moral support. Like I can't. I was like at points where I'm just like, thanks so much for being here, guys. I'm in a low spot. Don't want to say too much right now. So I'm just like being
Hmm.
transparent with all these people. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the hurt locker right now. I'm already 6 hours in, but like thank you so much for being here. I love you, but like, don't want to talk right now. Because there would be people who are coming up to me and asking me like, how you feeling? And I'm like, just asking for, patience of like, I'm good. Thanks so much for being here. I'm hurting, but like, thanks so much for asking. But even that no man's land of what you're talking about, it's like I had usually an ultra marathon, you have a crew chief, so you just have your guy or your girl, whoever that is.
Hmm.
It's just like your person. Like they read you just as much as you read yourself because they've done experience with this. But like my guy, who is usually my dude with all my races, couldn't come. So it was one of my roommates who was having to fill in for it, and he was like, "Dude, I'm cooked. I'm tired. I need to go get some sleep." So I'm like, sick. So it was literally me and like two other people other than the runners that were there in the middle of the night. So I had an hour in the middle of the night, probably at like 1 or 2 a.m., where I just like was like, I can't eat anything. I can't eat anything. This was already switching to the solid food approach, and I'm like, I just can't do anything. And I remember that hour just absolutely torched me because I literally did not eat anything other than drink water. And
What
like
hour was this? Do you remember?
it was like 1 to 2 a.m. or 2 to 3 a.m., one of the two,
Okay.
but I know it
So at
was
this
late.
point, you're 7 hours in.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So like, and it was the middle of the night, obviously, I still had like probably 10 to 12 people there, but like obviously, like you said, the energy was just dying down. People were going to sleep, like deep slumber, and I'm still in this treadmill. So just like more mentally thinking about that was like, and I tried not to like psych myself out about like, you have literally 14 more hours still like left on this thing, more than that. But like at the same time, I was still trying to just like focus on the next step, focus on the next like 30 minutes because I knew like, and the thing about ultra marathons is like there's highs and there's lows. Like it's the craziest things about someone can say something to you or like randomly where you start feeling good. And there's this guy from the gym who's just like a nutrition guy.
Mhm.
And he was like the guy who literally helped save my entire race because he was like, you know what, I got like two clients this morning, but other than that, I'm gonna be your guy. And he just started spoon feeding me peanut butter, and like I didn't even think about peanut butter at the time because it usually kills my stomach, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
literally,
The fat. I feel like the fat would be like
Hmm.
would sit
yeah,
on you.
oh yeah, but it was
Yeah.
literally got to the point where I'm just like, I need something calorie dense and some fat. And you know what? Peanut butter was the best option. So I was literally eating spoon fed peanut butter for probably like 8 hours. And that was literally
Yeah.
my source of
Yeah.
nutrition for probably like 8 hours.
Holy.
And like you think about how nasty peanut butter is just in itself, you do that in spoon food, you're getting spoon fed peanut butter for 8 hours. It was like, this is diabolical. I haven't eaten it since, probably won't for a while, just because of how scarred I was from eating that crap.
Probably just like dry mouth too, like you know that you
Uh,
can't
Yeah.
do
yeah,
anything with it. Oh my
Yes.
God.
it was just like so
Have you,
unreal.
And
has
that's
your
hour
mind,
seven, dude. That's hour seven.
yeah.
You got 17, 13, 17 more of those things to go.
Yep.
So hour
And
seven, you're just like you're getting food fed peanut butter, and people and your boys are bailing on you.
yeah, and that's the thing about like being like putting myself in the arena, like I know what it feels like, I know what it is, like I'm never gonna quit. But like just knowing that this was something out of my like ordinary, obviously I run 24 hours on the treadmill, don't know what it feels like. Now I do. But like going into that, I'm like, I don't know how it feels. So that was just one of those things where I'm just like, it was so hard to stay mentally locked in for that. Obviously I was able to, but in the moment I'm like, brother, I'm cooked. Like there's no way I can do this if I'm not able to get solid foods down. And I started to eat like a ton of fruit as well. And then like 6, 7 a.m., I was like, oh, brother, throw up's coming. So
Mm,
I had ate a
ooh.
ton of raspberries. And I'm like, you know what? This was like coming off an hour where I was like, I kind of got some food down, not really. Went to the bathroom, throw up. Like, at the time thought it was raspberries, but I mean, no, it's blood. I can taste it. And, my first, I was 100 miles in at this point. This was probably like sometime in the morning. Can't remember the hour. But anyways, I was 100 miles in at this point, and I was throwing up blood. But two dudes literally in the bathroom with me were like, "Nah, dude, that's raspberries. I can see it." I'm like, "Dude, I can taste the metal in my mouth." And I'm like, I'm my brain. Even that, I'm thinking rhabdo. I'm like, "Oh, brother, I'm
Here
cooked.
it
I don't
comes.
know."
Yeah, rhabdo.
Here it is.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm done for. I'm having to throw in
Hmm.
the towel. Don't know my
Hmm.
pea color yet, but here we are. And somehow, some way, don't even remember right now how they convinced me that it was raspberries. I could literally taste the metal in my mouth. I saw there was literally a video of me. I don't know why there's a video of me, but there's a video of me literally throwing up blood in the toilet, like as dark as it was. And I'm like, this is literally blood looking back on this film. And in the moment, they were like, no, it's raspberries. You're good. And I literally just like drank a bottle of water after that and just have felt amazing. Like after that, which was just crazy to think about. And literally, like after that, I didn't have to go to the bathroom again, maybe like once or twice. But after I threw up, it was just like game changer. You know,
Those are your
even
boys that tell you it's raspberries, bro.
yeah,
They're your boys.
You're
That's your
not
boys,
stopping
dude.
now.
Those are your boys. Those are your best friends, dude. The guys that like, no, man, it's raspberries. Because there could have been that one idiot that stood over top and goes, no, man, I think that's blood. I'd have punched
yeah.
that guy in the face. Tell him it's raspberries.
There were
Tell him it's
literally
raspberries, and let him
There's
go.
literally a video of like the interaction, and my buddy Jake's like, "It's raspberries, right?" And then he looks over to his left to the guy literally filming me. He was like, "It's raspberries, right?" And I'm literally just like sitting over the toilet, like shaking my head, "No, it's not." And they're like, "Yeah, it's raspberries." Like, look, I can see it. And I'm like, that's
Mhm.
so crazy to look back on. Of like, they literally were game planning right in front of me.
Yeah,
That it was raspberries, even though I could
yeah,
taste it was blood. So they were like, "Yeah, I'm like, it's raspberries, I guess." So we roll with it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
back on that, it's just nuts.
yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
like you never got rhabdo from this whole experience.
Mm-mm.
Talk about being conditioned, man.
Yeah,
That is
like that was the
that
one
is
thing that I was gonna, have to stop for. I was like, it's rhabdo or,
yeah.
die on that treadmill. So that was it. And that's where at that moment I'm like, yo, this might be the end because I'm getting rhabdo here. And
yeah,
luckily somehow didn't get it.
yeah.
Talk about how you felt finishing it.
Oh man.
Mental.
Yeah. Like just a lot of emotions. Because it was just a whirlwind of the day. The reason I was doing it for suicide awareness, which is like a heavy topic for me. So I was just like really just gathering all the emotions. And then I probably had like 75 people like come and support me. I'm like, yo, this is insane. Like all these people are coming. How crazy for them to come back just to watch me finish on a treadmill. I know it's insane, but like just to watch so many people who love and care for me wanted to see me finish. It was just like finishing that was like, there's finish lines at races and stuff, but like finishing that of like how grueling that actually was and what all went into it. Like there's a lot of stuff that I just like, yeah, like not big of a deal. But then like when we were like 10 minutes out, I'm like, okay, like it's getting real. I've actually been on this thing for 23 hours and just like started getting really emotional. I'm like, wow, this is just nuts. And
Mhm.
finishing that thing, like I can just tell how inflamed my body was. So I'm just like, this is unreal, unreal. And I'm just like immediately just dropped to my knees and just like tears was rolling down my eyes, just being so like just grateful to be able to do this and give back to my community and shine a light on a topic that's not talked about enough, which was just super cool to do that. And then just seeing all the people who were just like wanting to come see me, I'm like that's super cool. And there were some low points and definitely dark moments in the middle of the night, but finishing that and seeing all these people coming to want to watch me it made it all worth it, which is just super cool.
I imagine the adrenaline dump
Oh yeah.
is is absolutely intense.
Oh
That
yeah.
Mm.
adrenaline dump is incredible. Um, this is nothing compared to it, but I remember early on in my jujitsu career, we all competed too much. Like we
Mm,
competed all the time. And people are like, how come you and all your jujitsu buddies that start jujitsu, how come everybody's hurt? I'm like, because we competed all the time and got hurt all the time. When you're competing, you're hurt all the time and you're still competing. And eventually it leads to like long-term injuries. That's why everybody's hurt, right? But I did a jiu-jitsu tournament and I signed up for like the higher level and the middle level because I could do both, and I wanted to do both because my thought process was if I walk into the middle level one level and get smoked match one, I don't want to pay this much and not have another competition to
mm,
do. I don't want to go 0-1 and go home and be like it's costing too much money. So I'm signing up for both. Well, they overlapped, and I ended up in like a 3 hour period having like seven matches, and like four of the matches, one of the matches went for like 22 minutes
mm,
nonstop. And I remember I lost in the finals in one division and won the other division, and it was incredibly grueling because I signed up for it and I did it. And I remember eating, leaving, get in the car, and I remember the adrenaline dump hit, and I emotionally lost it. Like just started crying. I don't even know why. Like just that dump hit, and like your body was shaking, right? And
Hmm.
you were dehydrated, and you felt like you just I tell people it feels like a cartoon when the cartoon grabs like the one cartoon by the knees and just slams him to the side over and over again in cartoons. I
Yeah.
said my body felt like somebody picked me up by the ankles and just hurricane slammed me face first. And I got done. I got in the car. My boys were gone. I just sat there and I emotionally lost it because the adrenaline dump of having to be in fight or flight for so long, um, I didn't even know why I started crying. I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I think I was just so glad to be going home. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like having like it was a submission only tournament, so it was like a 22-minute match. And I remember rolling and winning after 22 minutes. And I remember there's a point in the match where me and the dude were both sitting on our butts, like getting ready, and we're looking at each other like, "Hey, man, if you want to quit, we can quit." Like there's this
The
mutual thing
truth.
where we looked at each other of like, "Hey, man, like we don't have to do this anymore if you don't want to," right? And that's a jujitsu tournament. Like that's not a 24-hour run. So like I try to compare it to like the adrenaline rush of being done and then emotionally being over. And here's the other part. What day was this? Was this a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? What was it?
I started on Thursday, ended on a Friday night.
Okay, ended on Friday night. Okay, I forget 24 hours. It was a 2-day thing. Like what people don't realize about things like that, events like that, is like there aren't plans for Saturday. Like
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I have a football kid I trained in high school, and he played football at the Citadel, and people are like, "Yo, what made that kid so great?" And like he's going to be in like Citadel Hall of Fame and beat South Carolina basically when in the Citadel as a running back, just beat him because he was just a dude, and he was a killer, and he was absolutely a different kid, really traumatic life growing up, which I tell people are like, that dude played football on a Saturday and Sunday didn't exist. Like he was going to play football on a Saturday, and it's okay to die because that's
Yeah.
all he's thinking about. Is like, I'm willing to die today, and there better be 10 people on my team that are ready to die too because I'm ready. The other 11 are going to like. People are like, why is he so good? Why was that kid different? I go, because there wasn't a Sunday.
Hmm.
There was just pure dog death on Saturday. So when that day's over, and I hope this makes sense to people, maybe it makes sense to you. When it's Friday at 6 o'clock and that day's over, there's this weird realization of like, wait, there's a tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on because there's nothing in my life that I planned for tomorrow.
Hmm.
Which brings me to another question. What do you do for the next 24 hours after that?
You literally rot and
That's what I was gonna say. Horizontal.
Just right.
like it was insane after we finished. Like we were talking about adrenaline, and I got this like boost of adrenaline. I'm able to dap everybody up, hug people, and I'm like, yeah, this is incredible. Like I don't feel that bad. And then it like slowly started out. I'm taking pictures, doing all this thing, sitting on a chair, and I was like, all right, it's time. My gym had a shower, and I was like, time to go shower. Get in the shower, and I'm like, yo, stars are coming. And I
Yeah.
like lost. I hadn't eaten anything, and probably I just went like 3 hours without eating anything. Just like was able to get liquid carbs down, and you just start seeing stars. And I'm like, oh brother, here we go. I'm about to pass out. So I'm
Yeah.
in the shower. Oh yeah, and I'm in the shower. I'm like, oh, this is not good. So ended up just like, luckily finishing the shower, putting my clothes on. I'm like, I was really about to lay on the bathroom floor and just like pass out and sleep, like whatever was about to happen. And literally, I somehow luckily was able to open the door and just like I had my hands on my knees. I'm like, yo, I need some food. Like I need some calories now, because I'm like I'm about to go. And they're like they got me into a chair and got me like a burger or something and was able to like get a couple bites out of that. But like it's just insane of like when you finishing those races, those endorphins are so high and the adrenaline's just running through your head. And then there's like that moment where it's like it's done for. And like you said, like you know, I wasn't even thinking about the next day. I'm literally focusing on how to get past the next hour without dying. Like literally, I'm like, I felt like I was gonna die in that shower, and I get out, and they're like, okay, I just need calories. That's what it is. So, and it's crazy because like I had a bunch of people out there, and I'm like, I caught like a second wind. I'm like, yeah, like let's go get something to eat. Like they were like, yeah, you want to come? And I'm like, sure. So we ended up going to like home team or something, and we were sitting at a table, and then I was like, I got that second wind of energy, and then we sat down and started ordering. I'm like, I feel like death again. Like this is terrible. I need to go home. Like this is awful. Like I can't do this anymore.
Hmm.
Like I'm socially just burnt out. I just ran for 24 hours. I'm tired. Haven't slept in over 30 hours, and then just died again at that table. So I was like, I told my roommate, like, yo, I gotta go. Like this has been cool. I'm so grateful y'all want to like continue to like talk about this, but like I need some alone time and sleep. Like, so just like the highs and lows of just like literally those next 2 hours after I finished was like, I'm here, I'm present, and then I'm cooked. I'm here, present, and then I'm cooked. Literally like 4 times in
Mm,
that span of 2 hours, which is just
mm.
nuts. And then obviously after these big efforts, you're not going to sleep good. So I only got like 4 hours of sleep because your body's just in so much pain. You're tossing and turning. You're waking up to go to the bathroom, yada, yada, yada. It's just like so painful. You don't want to move. And obviously didn't sleep well that next night. So it's just like, like you're already just like so cooked. You want a good night's sleep, but your body's not going to let you. Like you don't sleep good for the next 2 hours or the next two
Mhm.
days after that, which is just like brutal. And that's the last thing that
Mhm.
you need is lack of sleep.
Did anybody love you enough to let other people, like medical community, know that you were doing this in case, like, do you have
Yeah.
anybody that loves you enough to call the medical community prior to this? Like, if you're my boy and you're doing it, I'm like, that's cool. But like the day before, I would have called like some doctors I know. I'm like, hey man, like my boy's doing this 1 day run. Like, are you working tomorrow? Or like, who's on call? You know anybody at EMS? Because like, if my boy hits the ground at hour 17 and like there's no pulse, like we need to figure something out quick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
Okay,
had a guy there almost. He was there for probably like 15 hours. He runs um like a mobile IV business. He was a doctor in the
great.
army.
Yes, that's yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, yeah, I know Ralph's there. He's my guy.
Yeah,
Do a lot of work with him, so he was there. So I felt secure in that, and he was
yeah,
like, gave me an IV the next day, and felt a
yeah.
little bit better
Like was
after.
there AED present and
Yeah, yeah,
everything else?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm just the dad in me starts to think like because as you're talking, I'm like, wonder what his parents thought of this,
Yeah. Oh my God, I didn't even think
right?
about
Like
that.
I wonder if like because every mom kind of loves their kid, and they're kind of like, well, guess Edwin's doing this, and we can't tell him no because he's 24. And if we tell him no, then he's going to probably run for 36 hours out of
Yeah.
Mhm.
spite. So let me call some people to make sure that like if Edwin hits the floor, there's an AED and an IV right there, and we can just
Yeah,
kind of hang him up and like get him ready. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the
for,
dad in me is coming
for
back,
sure.
Mhm.
being like, hey man, like let's just make sure this is a great story and it's going to be a great like a good story to. And I saw you're doing a documentary, but let's not
Mhm.
have this be a tragedy. you
Yeah,
know, like we need a happy ending at the end of this Netflix
Right.
documentary. I need a
yeah.
happy ending. I don't need it to be like,
Oh, it's
man,
like,
I don't need the black screen to come up and be like, Edwin died 24 hours later. Rest in peace,
yes.
Edwin. You're like, oh man, this is the
It's how
worst.
I always feel watching Alex Honnold climb when he free
Oh
climbs. Like
yeah,
he just did the Taipei Tower. Like, oh my God, it gives me so much anxiety. I can only watch like the
I
last
can't
five
watch it,
minutes
dude.
of it.
I can't watch
Yeah,
it. That's one of those things I gotta fast forward to the end
exactly. The
and
last
watch
five
the
minutes I
last
can
30
watch.
seconds
Hmm.
because I am like a cat clung to the wall when I watch him climb.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, dude, this
yeah.
is
It's
too much
crazy.
stress for me, man. This is too much anxiety, which probably
Yeah.
comes to the point. There's probably some more anxiety for people watching it than there is a little bit for you going through it, right? It's kind of
oh
like there's people that are watching like, oh, like you got people probably rooting for you that are like, oh man, the last thing we need is Edwin just to stop at hour 18. He's got to finish this thing. But like
Yeah.
for you, like the moment you stepped on the treadmill, like 24 hours is coming. Like I don't
mhm.
care if you got to like bear crawl, army crawl on that last mile. You're gonna get 24 hours in,
Yeah.
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like you're gonna do it.
Walk us through, okay, after you rotted and you could feel your legs again, walk us through what your recovery looks like.
Yeah. I just got a lot of treatment done from a physical therapist the next couple days.
Yeah.
Literally the main thing from like my body just really recovers like super quick, like just way more than the average human being, which I'm really grateful for. But at the same time, I had so much inflammation in my legs, like my shins looked like I literally had just like bowling balls.
Oh,
It was
Oh.
insane. And like my shins, like my quads, I'm like, yo, this is insane. Literally just looked like I got stung by a bee all over my body. So just waiting for that inflammation to go down was the biggest thing. Walking like wasn't the worst at all. It was just literally the inflammation. I'm like, dang, this is like my joints are hurting because of
Hmm.
this. Because it was the same muscle tissues getting slammed. But other than that, like I was back running within. I took a full week off, but the next Monday I was back running.
and just so you know, too, Gray, like Edwin's not a waif. Like
Yeah.
Edwin's not like this skinny ultra marathon guy that you see. That's kind of like he carries like he's got a significant amount of quality muscle tissue on his body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also what kind of intrigued me when I first met you. And you're like, yeah, I do ultra marathons, I do these kind of things, and I'm like, man, you're not built like you got calves and quads and arms. And I'm like, to me, from an exercise science standpoint of this, the muscle has to be at some point counterproductive
Hmm.
to recovery.
Hmm.
Because like, man, it's a lot of nutrients to keep those muscles going. Like if you're skinny and long, like you see the marathon runners, like didn't the guy just break the 2 hour marathon?
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Right? Like that guy's
Crazy.
a waif, right? That guy's a waif. And that's like what, like a 5:10 split or like a 5:05 split or something stupid.
4:30.
So
4:30 split. That's a
Yeah.
4:30 split is just retarded, right? It's just stupid. When you look at
yeah,
4:30 splits, you're like, that's not even, what is that, right?
that's like my
Like
half mile time.
it looks like the guy sprinting past you probably when they're
Yeah.
running. You're like, that's incredible. And you're like, well, those guys are skinny, long, not a lot of muscle, small bone density.
Hmm.
You're kind of a jack dude.
Hmm.
And like that's got to be counterproductive to this whole goal. Right? That's one of the things I thought of when I first saw you and you told me that. And I'm like, wait, that dude's kind of jacked up, bro. He's jacked up
Hmm.
and like running that long. Like that's a lot of oxygen demand
Yeah.
Hmm.
for the body, dude. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Do you have anything like how long ago is this? How long?
Like 8 weeks ago.
8 weeks ago?
Hmm.
8 weeks ago? And what are you doing that? Like, I know you got it in your brain, dude. So
36 hours.
don't even look at me and be like, oh, I got nothing planned. I know you do.
Yeah. So I'm actually doing stupid high rocks in two weeks in New York City for
Yeah.
fun. But then
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a Boston qualification in August, try to run a 240 marathon there, and then like at this race called Bound for Boston, and then I have a 100 mile in October, and then I have a last man standing in December, which I'm trying to go
Okay.
win, and there's gonna be some big dogs there, so I'm hoping to run for like 3 or 4 days out there.
Okay. So there's, when you say big dogs, there's a small group of other crazy people
For
that are
sure.
out there.
Yeah.
And are they around the country? Are they around the world? Are they like how many people, when you go to this last man standing, how many people walk up to the starting line?
It's usually like 120 around there. Maybe I
Okay.
think half is 130. A lot of race directors will allow 130, but usually like 120.
You know who just texted me? Reagan Hooks out of the blue.
Did
That's
she?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. The universe got the universe got. Um,
Yeah.
when is this documentary coming out?
I think it's gonna be Friday morning. So
Oh, this Friday.
yeah.
Okay. Um, did you had videographers and all people put that together, or are you also like
Mhm.
a side videographer?
No. Yeah, I don't do any of that crap. I'll hire someone or they'll do it for free, so I'm grateful for
Yeah,
that.
we started a business and we're hiring content creator people and videographers, and my business partner was like, "You don't want to get into that, dude. That's not part of what we do. You hire that out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
You hire
I'll
Yeah.
that."
leave that to they have their
See,
gifts and I'll let them use them.
the
Right.
I like to end on this. Um, you your content leads with your faith.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What part of that played in this 24-hour run?
Yeah, really good question. So like my prayer going into this challenge was just that would people would see me do this challenge and truly like get closer to the Lord, because this thing is like so out of the ordinary and they're like, how is he doing this? Why is he doing this? I'm like, I wanted people to see the supernatural strength that the Lord gave me on those 24 hours to see that and make a difference in their life. Like I wanted questions to come to me about like, dude, like you're so built different and you're doing these things and I'm like, nah, it's the Lord give me the strength to get through this, and if it all roots back to me, I'm like, you're the beast, you're the dog. I'm like cool, I received that, but ultimately I wanted to honor and glorify him within that me doing that. And there's just so many points of like, people ask me like, do you feel close to God when you're 100 miles deep? Do you feel closer? I'm like, no, like it's a great question, but he's no
Yeah,
different than he is right now that I am 100 miles into a race,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
just like inspiring people to, stir questions and, using just my running on a treadmill to help them grow closer in their faith, in their faith journey. Or if it's not there, hopefully start one. So
Yeah.
that was like my
There's a
behind
lot of people that do amazing things, and when I see the downfall in people that do amazing things, it's when they take all the glory for it
Mm. Yeah.
And they take all, nothing concerns me more when I hear somebody say, I'm self-made and I did this all myself.
Yeah.
When I hear people say that, I go, ooh,
Yeah.
like we're headed down the fall, bro. Like
Yeah.
there's something coming that's going to humble you. And you
Yep.
say, it's all me. I did it all me. I don't care if it's the faith you're leaning on. But there's somebody that came along
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
did that went with you, bro.
Mhm.
And when you hear people say this was all me, or I'm doing it all, it's me, that I'm like you said, like I'm there's something different in me. Like you're like, man, when I hear people say that, I'm like, oh, that fall's gonna come hard
Mhm.
when they start being so prideful about their accomplishments or what they did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dude, thank you for coming on. I literally invited you on a whim because I saw it happen and we were talking about it, and I got on your social and I'm just like, and first off, you have so, I mean, I imagine your Instagram blows up. People messaging all the time being like, dude, they're crazy. What's that? It's crazy. It's crazy. Right. So I just messaged you on your Instagram just to see if you reply. And I was going to find you through the circles of people I knew.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, that's the definition of a high performer.
Yeah,
I
100%.
don't know anything more high performing than that. 25 hours, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Quit being a sissy and run 25, right? You
Gotta do
know?
it next year.
Yeah. What'd you bail out on that 36 for, coward? Right.
Yeah.
But thank you for coming on, bro. I
Yeah, man.
really appreciate you coming on. I really hope people continue I hope you continue to do just things that other people think are so crazy.
Mhm.
I don't care if it's in business, your personal life. I don't care, whatever. I hope you continue to just like keep setting a different ceiling, and I do hope that other people follow. I
Yeah.
hope somebody watches your videos and they live in Germany and they go, I'm going to do it too. And I'm going to do
Mhm.
mine for something I believe in. Right.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
hope there's a bunch of people out there that run 24 hours and raise a bunch of awareness for things that we need to be responsible for. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.